Hello everyone, this video focuses on determining the difference between a capitalized cost and an expense. When companies spend money on long-term assets, they either capitalize those expenditures or expense them at the time of purchase. Expenditures are capitalized if the resource purchased provides a future benefit to the company. When we capitalize something, we treat it as an asset. That asset shows up on a balance sheet. If the expenditure only benefits the current period, then we expense it, and that expense shows up on the income statement. So the key here is to be able to determine when you capitalize something and treat it as an asset, or when you expense it. The key question to ask is this a cost of acquiring the asset and getting it ready for use, or is it a recurring cost that benefits the company only during the current period? It's an expense if it's a recurring cost to maintain the asset at its optimal level of performance. On the other hand, we'll capitalize it if the expenditure is designed to improve performance, replace key components, or provide additions that will allow the asset to function. Now I have a number of problems here that we're going to be able to solve. What I'd like you to do at this point in time is pause your video, solve the problem, then restart the video and compare your results to mine. The first problem deals with Jarvis Inc. and we're to determine the cost of the land. So we're only looking at the cost of the land. The cost of the land includes the sales price of the land. It will also include the sale of the salvage parts already on the land. So if there are salvage parts on the land that we're purchasing that we can sell and get money for, we'll include those in the cost, but as a negative because they're actually reducing the cost. The demolition of an old building gets capitalized. Title insurance, real estate commissions, back taxes on properties. Back taxes on properties are real estate taxes from prior periods that we owe. If we have to pay those, we capitalize them. The total of those capitalized expenditures is $313,000. Things like groundbreaking ceremonies, property taxes due later this year for the current year, those are expenses. Architect fees for blueprints of the new building would be a cost of new building. Interest incurred for the first year would either be an expense, or if we're constructing a new building and it's interest on borrowed money, we capitalize it, but we capitalize it to the building itself. So the land acquisition cost would be $313,000. Now look at number 2, JNV Corporation. They purchased land with an existing warehouse which will be used to build an office building. How many items below would be included in the cost of the land and the cost of the new building? Well, the answer here is C. C is 7 items for land and 3 items for building. The land are the purchase price of the land in the warehouse, the demolition of any old warehouse on the land preparation and leveling, the prior period property taxes on the land, realtor fees for the land purchase, sale of salvage parts already on the land. Now remember, if we sell salvage parts already on the land, that actually reduces the cost, but it is included in the calculation. And title insurance on the land. So you have 7 items that are part of the land calculation. Now as far as the building goes, the architect fees on the new building, the interest expense on the construction of the loan for the new building, and the new building construction costs are all part of the building costs. Maintenance costs on a new building is not capitalized. That's an expense. So C should be your answer there. Now take a look at questions 3, 4, and 5. Pause your video, read each question carefully, solve, then restart your video again and compare your results to mine. Good luck. Question 3 asks you to determine how many of the subsequent expenditures provided would be capitalized. And the answer is D, 6. The 6 are number 3, number 4, number 5, 7, 8, and 9. You capitalize things when you replace things, provide additions, or improve. Each of those will provide the company with a future benefit, and as a result, will capitalize the cost and allocate it over the useful life. A new transmission on a vehicle qualifies for a replacement. Additions of a refrigerator unit, additions of a new room, additions. Replacing a refrigerator unit in a truck with a new unit is an improvement that will take place. Now, when it comes to intangible assets, we're typically talking about legal costs. The legal cost to file a patent would be capitalized to the cost of the patent, and legal costs associated with the successful defense of a copyright would be capitalized as well. Legal costs for unsuccessful defenses, on the other hand, are expensed. So looking up at the top, recurring repairs and maintenance on equipment, cleaning of computers, those are just repairs and maintenance needed to keep these assets at their optimal levels. They are expensed. An engine tune-up on a vehicle is just designed to keep the vehicle working at an optimal level, so it's an expense. Staplers are always expensed because of materiality. Even though the stapler may last forever, the cost of benefit doesn't pay off to capitalize it. And then research and development is always an expense. Now let's take a look at number 4. Publix purchased new equipment for $60,000. Other costs associated with are transportation, sales, taxes, installation costs. The cost recorded for the equipment is $66,500. The purchase price plus everything needed to get that equipment ready to go. In the final question, NCH purchases a tract of land for $500,000. They demolish a building on the old site. There's legal and other fees to close. And there's proceeds from the sale of demolition scrap. To determine the cost of the land, you take the price paid of $500,000, the demolition cost of $75,000, the $15,000 of fees, and you subtract the proceeds from the sale of demolition scrap. You always subtract that. It's part of the cost, but it's a reduction in cost. So the answer here is C, $580,000. These 5 questions were designed to give you a little bit more practice with capitalized costs and expenditures. Hope they're helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good luck.